Technology in the classroom. This is my blog. I have just started it, so it's not very elaborate. The one that I use, well, I'm going to try and incorporate next semester. I've actually embedded my PowerPoints that I use in class. So if a student is absent or a student doesn't get all the notes or whatever, they could actually go on the blog and go through the PowerPoint themselves and fill in their guided notes. I also have a link to my actual guided notes so that, again, if they're absent or they lose a copy or whatever, they can actually go into my Google Docs and they can actually print this. The only downfall that I have found is that it does not format exactly the same. So like this line right here was really next to name, and because now it's in Google Docs, it's kind of moves things a little bit. But you can always go into your Google Docs and fix those things. But, you know, not the end of the world, especially if they're getting a second copy or whatever. You know, you can always let them know, hey, that's a little different or whatever. So for me, those are the, you know, the best aspects of using a blog. I'm not planning on using it as a discussion forum. I'm planning on more using it sort of like a class website, except for me it's a little easier to navigate than some of the websites that are out there. You can also throw, and Brett just did this for me earlier today, you can throw in gadgets and stuff. This is a video bar. You can throw in links to other blogs, what have you. So Brett's actually going to talk to you more in depth about the blogs. I'm going to talk to you about two basic tools to use in your classroom. The first one is the document camera. And this one is a little different than the picture. It's just yellow instead of red. It can be used in place of an overhead. I don't know how many of you guys use overheads, but they're pretty outdated. So this is going to be your new version of a projector or an overhead. It's able to magnify and project images of actual three-dimensional objects. And you can still do transparencies if you just throw a white piece of paper under it. You can still see what's on that transparency if you have a ton of them. You know, sometimes like math teachers kind of depend on those a lot, or I know Mr. Sanford was using them for accounting a little bit too, and he's kind of moved on to the document camera. You can write on a sheet of paper and the students can watch you actually doing it. I let them participate. So they actually, I set it up on a desk, they come up and they actually fill in. I use it mostly for checking accounts. So writing a check, filling in a check register. It also captures images. So I think that's probably one of the most useful aspects, because if a student is absent, you can have it on a CD, or if you have a blog, you can put it up on your blog. So it's a way for them to see the step-by-step what you did with the document camera. Some examples for uses, science classes, you know, if you didn't want to dissect one frog per student or per pair, I don't even know if we dissect frogs, but you wouldn't have to. Geometry, you know, 3D twist to pyramids, cones, cylinders. Art class, you can see techniques. Accounting, guided practice, recording debits and credits. Consumer, that's where I use it, and checking registers. I'm going to show you really quick how it works. It does have a little remote, so you can do, you know, certain functions from your desk if it's on in a different area or whatever. This one is connected to the computer, but if you have a projector on a cart, you can actually connect it directly to your projector. So you don't have to go through your computer. Like if you have this in the center of the room, that's where I put mine. If you direct it, or if you connect it directly to your computer, there's something called B-Works. That's going to be the software that's used. Just pops up like a little B, and then it gives you some menu options. Now those don't light up until you turn it on. So if you turn it on, Now if you notice, there's like little pale, and it's kind of hard to see because it's projectors. There are little pale circles around each symbol. And then when you move your mouse, just like anything, it tells you what is happening when you click that button. So display live images. Scroll back up. If you expand your window, it will fill most of your computer screen. Now I just have this one on here. One thing that I've noticed is you do want to make sure, like you might want to play with this a little bit. Sometimes it looks a little skewed. Another thing that I have found is, it doesn't look that big. So like when I do something like a check register, I actually print like a 200%, I blow it up, and then there are a lot bigger lines and a lot bigger space. You can zoom in. So there's your little magnifying glass. It gives you a little zoom lever. So it depends, I guess, how close you want to get. You can get as close as you want. My only issue with the zooming in is you lose the entirety of the document. So something like a check register, you need to kind of see the whole thing. That's why I like to blow it up, because then you can still zoom in a little bit, but you can still see the whole document. Okay, so you can actually there is a little bit of a delay. You can position your light different. There is also an autofocus. So if it doesn't seem focused, if you push this little button, that's going to do it for you. And then it focuses for you. The small folder expands your choices. This is the one that I think is the most usable feature, is the capturing still images. A good idea is to create a folder on your desktop, document, camera, pictures, whatever. And then when you have your image up, and if this is what you want to take a picture, you just click the little camera, and it will actually give you a save window. Picture 1, and then you put it right in that folder. Click save, now it's in that folder. As you progress through your steps, you would take an image every time. What you can then do is insert a blank CD, click and drag this folder, drop it onto the CD, and burn it. Now you have a permanent document for if it's something that you teach on a regular basis that you could upload, or you could even give to a student and say, okay, here, this is the checking and register. Take it, you were absent, do it at home, view it at home, and review. So that's the document camera in a nutshell. Does anyone have any questions?